You know, Dying Light 2 is actually a pretty good game. Wait, that's not it. Let's start over. Hey there, fellow survivors, are you ready for a wild ride in a world of the undead? Well, hold on tight, because we're about to dive into Dead Island 2, the long-awaited sequel that has been shuffling towards us for nearly a decade. That's right, the trailer you see on the screen right now is almost 10 years old. But fear not, in this review we will find out if this highly anticipated sequel lives up to a hype, or if it's just another case of zombie apocalypse that took a wrong turn. So grab your weapons, stock up on supplies, and let's embark on this thrilling, blood-soaked adventure together. The game wastes no time and immediately throws the player into a cycle of events, gradually introducing us to a potential protagonist. They try to get out of a city of angels, but things don't go according to plan, and the plane with them crashes. Here it is up to you to choose a hero for whom you will play. They all have their own abilities and characteristics, so you can choose the one that you like the most. I ended up choosing Jacob, because his abilities were probably the most useful, and he featured in several promo materials. Except this choice was a fatal mistake, because by the middle of the game I just got tired of him. Don't get me wrong, I'm fine with characters joking around, but not when it happens every 5 minutes, which turns everything into some kind of comedy. Perhaps the only thing missing is the off-screen laughter.
Steady, I'm human, and enchanting company.
Oh, you are, huh? You're not here to eat us then?
There isn't enough ketchup in the world.
Comedian, huh?
It feels like a protagonist in Dead Island 2 may have survival skills to fend off zombies, but they could definitely use some lessons in charm. In addition to the unappealing protagonists, the supporting cast in Dead Island 2 fails to leave a lasting impression. Their interactions and dialogue lack depth and fail to evoke genuine emotions or establish meaningful connections. This missed opportunity hampers the game's ability to create compelling relationships within the post-apocalyptic world. Of course, it's not all bad, and the game has some well-developed characters. For example, Sam, who is a returning character from the original Dead Island, or Emma Jones and her entourage. But when we go beyond that, we are met with absolute downers. It's either just empty characters with no personality or annoying NPCs. The sad part is that if you want to do side quests, you will have to face them. Although you might ask, is there any point in doing side quests? Do we have some interesting mini-stories? Or maybe they reveal the setting better? To which I'll answer you the following.
Interesting. No.
These quests often feel repetitive and fail to offer compelling narratives or engaging objectives. The lack of variety in side quest design diminishes the overall sense of exploration and progression, making them feel like tedious chores rather than exciting endeavors. Literally all side quests are built on 3 pillars, and it goes something like this. Jacob, go to this place and kill all the zombies and I'll reward you with a blueprint. Jacob, get me some alcohol. Jacob, there's a man missing, go look for him.
Another settlement has sent word that they need our help. I'll mark it on your map. Go find out what they need.
In short, the side quests in the game could have been better, but it's good that the developers at least don't force you to go through them in order to get the right level or something else. You can really praise the developers for that. But okay, back to the main plot. I can't say it's great, but it's not bad either. However, throughout the game I constantly had a feeling of deja vu, and I actively recalled Dying Light 2. In a way, it was something like this.
I'm the best action zombie game.
It's funny you should say that, because I was looking through some old photos and it looks very, similar.
By the way, its developers were supposed to make Dead Island 2, but after some disagreements, the project ended up in other hands. So let's dive deeper and discuss some moments that reminded me of last year's Techland game. But first I should warn you that there will be some spoilers, though not too crucial, so if you don't want to get them, skip here. When our plane makes an incredibly soft landing, we venture out in search of our survivors, and for the first time meet the previously mentioned Emma Jaunt and her assistants, as well as a couple who find themselves in a bad spot. Of course we can't leave the couple in trouble, and so our hero tries to help them. But as it turns out, the man's wife has a biting sense of gratitude. Now we're infected, and occasionally the symptoms make themselves known. Doesn't it remind you of anything? That's right, Dying Light 2, where our protagonist also finds himself bitten, and from time to time his infected side takes control. But the similar moments don't end here, as later Jacob or any other Dead Island 2 hero discovers new abilities. For a short time he goes into a state of primal rage, and thus his strength increases, and he can also use the abilities of some of the most powerful zombies. And what do you think? Absolutely the same moment was in Dying Light 2. But in fairness it's worth mentioning that in Techland game this ability works only in certain plot moments, but in Dumbuster Studio project you can activate it anytime, so it acts as your ultimate. And of course I couldn't help but notice some of the story moments. Once where we're attacking a person with no control over ourselves. Once where we meet a character with similar skills and who is ready to unleash our potential to a maximum, and even some gameplay similarities. Although all of this can be seen as a homage to a successful franchise, it occasionally leads to moments that may make Dead Island 2 feel cheap. And while the game does manage to distinguish itself in other aspects, this similarity may disappoint players looking for a fresh and unique experience. But in spite of all these cons, there are things in the game that make it worth buying. One of the standout features of Dead Island 2 is its impressively detailed portrayal of a post-apocalyptic Los Angeles. The city is brought to life with vibrant visuals, dynamic lighting, and attention to detail. Exploring the various environments, from crumbling buildings to infested streets, is an immersive experience that adds to the game's overall atmosphere. Dumbuster Studio decided not to make a full-fledged open world, but rather to create a few large locations. As a result, not only were they able to focus on the development of the area, but the optimization was also excellent. We can visit the Beverly Hills, the famous Santa Monica Beach, and even get to a Walk of Fame at the end. Yes, maybe not everything is as detailed as in GTA 5, but I think that the devs did a great job, and fighting against the undead in these locations was fun. There was, however, a fly in the ointment, and it affects not only the locations outside, but the buildings as well. While the constant zombie spawning in Dead Island 2 is intended to create a sense of constant danger, it often becomes a source of frustration rather than enjoyment. The relentless waves of zombies can feel overwhelming and hinder exploration or progress. Additionally, the repetitive nature of constantly encountering hordes of zombies can lead to a sense of monotony, detracting from the overall experience. But perhaps the main highlight of the game is satisfying combat system that strikes a balance between melee and ranged combat. The game allows players to wield an assortment of weapons, from traditional melee tools to improvised ones, and the combat animations are fluid and impactful. Engaging in intense battles against hordes of zombies feels exhilarating, and the diverse range of weapon choices adds an extra layer of strategy to the gameplay. But in addition to stunning animations, the developers added a very cool dismemberment system called Flash, which also adds an extra layer of gruesome satisfaction. It allows players to slice, chop and dismember zombies in various ways, resulting in satisfyingly gory encounters. This mechanic, coupled with the game's detailed visuals, contributes to the overall immersion and intensifies the sense of survival in a hostile environment. Just look at this. And if you thought that we are done with a combat system, you are severely mistaken. Dead Island 2 encourages players to engage with their surroundings, providing opportunities for environmental kills and traps. For example, if you see a puddle of water, lure a zombie there and throw an electric shuriken to easily fry brain eaters. Or if you see a barrel of fuel, just throw it at the enemy or spill it on the floor for an explosive effect. Overall, this aspect enhances the gameplay experience and keeps it engaging. When you get to a location, you analyze the situation and think about what you can use to get an advantage in the battle. But another advantage in combat can be the right deck of cards, which here is analogous to a skill tree. You have a total of 4 lines that can be filled with different cards, and some of them can only be used by certain characters, so you should choose your hero wisely at the beginning. New cards are unlocked as you get new level, but you can also get them after killing zombies or just finding them in the world. Except if you want to put some pretty powerful cards in your deck, you have to keep in mind that they have their own nuances. For example, you can use your ultimate without any time limitations, but in return your health will be consumed, which in especially tough confrontations can lead to a tragic outcome. That's why I built myself a deck that was pretty powerful and allowed me to heal through various actions, but didn't have any debuffs. This system encourages experimentation and allows players to tailor their playstyle to suit their preferences. In my opinion, it's cool when the developers try to bring something new to the table, rather than just inserting things that have already been tested. And lastly, I wanted to discuss the screamers. The thing is that sometimes zombies suddenly jump out at you, which is supposed to scare the player, but here, as in The Last of Us Part 2, it doesn't work very well. Yes, the first couple of times you may flinch from surprise, but in the following you will be rather annoyed. Dead Island 2 offers a mixed bag of zombie mayhem, with its stunningly detailed portrayal of Los Angeles, enjoyable combat mechanics, and gruesome dismemberment system. The game emphasizes on environmental interactions and an interesting upgrade system add depth to a gameplay. However, it falls short in some areas, including the lackluster side quests and annoying protagonists, unremarkable supporting characters, and the frustration caused by constant zombie spawning. Furthermore, the heavy inspiration from Dying Light 2 occasionally dilutes the game's originality. While Dead Island 2 does have its strengths, the cons mentioned earlier hinder its ability to reach its full potential. Ultimately, the game may appeal to fans of a genre who are primarily seeking intense zombie combat and a detailed game world. However, those looking for a more engaging and well-rounded experience may find themselves disappointed by its shortcomings. With that said, I award Dead Island 2 a solid 6 out of 10. And that's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to click a like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss similar content in the future. Good luck to everyone and see you in the next video.